Paleontology might just be one of the most difficult sciences out there. I mean, think about it. How do you figure out what an animal looked like, how it moved, what it ate, or even where it lived, when all you have are a few fossilized bones? And those bones, they're often broken, scattered, or over 100 million years old. So yeah, difficult is putting it lightly. Given how tricky the job is, it's not all that surprising that paleontologists have made a few mistakes over the years. Most of the time, these errors are minor, like slightly overestimating how big a dinosaur was. But every once in a while, a mistake is made that's so off, so bold, it completely changes how we think about a creature. Some of these missteps are downright legendary. So today, let's dive into 7 wild examples where science got it hilariously or terrifyingly wrong. Let's kick things off with a pretty understandable error, one that was honestly inevitable. It has to do with the very first dinosaur ever formally described, Megalosaurus. This meat-eating theropod lived during the Jurassic period and was first studied all the way back in 1824. At the time, people had no concept of dinosaurs. In fact, the word dinosaur hadn't even been invented yet. So when English paleontologist William Buckland looked at a femur, a few vertebrae, and part of a lower jaw, he had to take a wild guess. And guess he did. Buckland figured he'd stumbled upon a giant lizard, a 4-legged carnivorous amphibious lizard. Yep, he assumed that because the bones were huge, the creature had to walk on all fours because, well, all big reptiles he knew did. He even speculated that it lived mostly in water, sort of like a crocodile. Based on those few bones, he guessed the creature measured over 40 feet long, or about 12 meters. But then, in classic 1800s scientific rivalry fashion, another paleontologist found an even bigger bone and basically challenged Buckland to a size contest. Buckland wasn't about to be shown up, so he doubled down and bumped up Megalosaurus's estimated size to 70 feet, or about 21 meters. Now, this was also back when many scientists were trying to fit their fossil discoveries into a biblical worldview. According to Christian tradition, death and suffering only began after Adam and Eve sinned. But here was a prehistoric predator, clearly a killer, that lived long before humans. So Buckland came up with a workaround. He claimed Megalosaurus wasn't a bloodthirsty killer, but a kind of ancient mercy bringer. Its job, he said, was to take out the old and the sick animals, reducing suffering in the process. Yeah, really. Obviously, just about everything in Buckland's interpretation turned out to be wrong. Over time, paleontologists realized Megalosaurus wasn't a massive quadruped, but a bipedal predator. It wasn't amphibious, but fully terrestrial. And as for size,